Welcome back to the episode of Nerds and Rounds, guys.
What were
host,
your
Sebastian.
eyes just now? Time out. No. Before we even, what were your crazy man eyes that you just had right now?
I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
It was totally on purpose.
It's a man on Red Bull. That's what that is.
A man on Red Bull and no sleep. Because I'm just excited. It's Tuesday. How are you guys doing? So it's your host, Sebastian.
It's your boy, Law.
And your boy, Tone, from across the hall.
And tonight, guys, we got a lot to talk about. We have some great guests with us. They're waiting in the background to meet you guys. But before we do this and start the episode, it is our daily announcements on Tuesdays. So
weekly announcements.
It's, you know how it goes. Anyway,
so
we got new
housekeeping.
Yes, we love the housekeeping. So don't forget to check out TAOS by Law on Twitch, Steady Hands, Mayhem Mike, Pure Mayhem on Twitch. Check those guys out. Go to their channels. Pretty much you'll see their schedules of what they're streaming and everything. Everybody's talking about Cyberpunk.
I've been doing Monday and Thursday between 5 and 8 Eastern Standard Time. And Cyberpunk, once they do the patches, I might get it because I've been hearing a lot of
things about.
Oh, yeah, because you have it on the old console.
we might talk.
Wow, Toad.
I gave it to you. I gave it to you. I can say whatever the fuck I want.
He can.
Like, I know, but I'm just like, damn,
because it plays beautiful on my refrigerator. So, you know.
Also, yeah. Oh,
I
wasn't even trying to get the game until everyone told me I need to get this game.
It looks like shit on regular Xbone and.
I've seen.
Well, that's a whole topic.
Irrelevant.
Anyway, let's go. Irrelevant. Anyway. Friday, new episode coming out. We actually did an awesome series with Keiko from MLA Entertainment and Jay Hewer. They talk about character development and everything. So those who are interested in learning how to create a character and everything, make sure you check that episode. It's dropping this Friday.
Very good deep dive.
Yeah, definitely.
The creation process, the mindset of a writer who tries to build a story and involve their characters with it.
Next on the docket. If you have not subscribed yet, please go to the Medusa Cascades podcast. New episodes every Saturday. We just dropped episode 7 from In Beyond Studios, so make sure you check it out every Saturday, the Medusa's Cascade. And on Sundays, if you guys haven't subscribed to Comic Cast, make sure you do. They did an awesome interview this Sunday with Wayward Raven Studios. It's a show that they start at 1 p.m. called Let It Out, where they talk about, again, with creators and everything. And also they do drawing challenges. So also too, if you're an artist, want to show your skills and everything, they have you share your stuff.
That's so dope.
Without further ado, let's start bringing in our guests, get into the episode and start going over stuff. And before we do that, we want to say, what's up, Danielle Gonzalez? Yes. What's up?
Oh, what's going on?
So first guest needs no introduction. He's been our regular steady in here, but for those who don't know him, you have to check out his album that dropped this year, The Agenda. Please go to Spotify. Links is in the descriptions. Give it up for the one, the only, Lou Seif. Lou.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, brother?
What's up? You already know. Happy to be here.
Next person.
Good.
I'm excited, man.
We got a lot to cover. There's a lot of excitement today before we get into all spoiler stuff and all that, because we got that Disney drop too. Ooh. Next on the list, he's new to the show, making his grand entrance debut. You can check him out on the podcast You Free. Give it up for Aazim Jafarey. Aazim, what's up?
Yo,
what's up, guys? What's going
on?
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the madness and mayhem.
You know, first time caller, long time listener.
Oh, that warms our little heart.
Appreciate it.
Crossovers are perfect. Well, welcome to the show, brother. So we're gonna get you into the madness and everything. So again, guys,
I love the varying levels of facial hair and beard control that we all got going this week. This panel is very beard heavy.
No, it all looks good, and then I take the hat off, and it's just terrible because of my bulking ass self.
I'll be the victim of that. There you go.
Anyway, let's go. We're 5 minutes in.
So we're 5 minutes in. Let's go. We got a bunch of stuff to cover. So first of all, I want to cover the Disney drop. The first thing I want to cover is Marvel. I'm going to give you guys a bunch of stuff. We'll talk about it real quick. So first off, the WandaVision trailer, the Falcon and Bucky trailer, the Loki trailer, tons of Marvel goodies, including the What If trailer, movie news like Christian Bale playing Gore, the God Butcher, and the new Thor movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Yep.
Like
New Fantastic Four movie. We rebooting this bad boy.
Yes.
We're not getting that with Fox crap. New shows like Ironheart, Secret Wars announced, and then tons of cast updates.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about this whole
Ironheart.
Marvel drop?
Like Ironheart was just like, I didn't even know they were thinking about Ironheart, and then they dropped Ironheart. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like so excited for it.
So I feel like they were like, yo, like we gave you a lot with that last what was it, the Disney 21, whatever the
D21 or whatever.
Wherever they gave us a lot, and we were all hyped. And then all of a sudden, I didn't even know that they were supposed to be making announcements, and they were like,
"This is a regular ass investors call."
Yo,
like, there was no business for them to just drop all this shit.
Yeah,
you know. And I feel like it was such a flex of just like, by the way, like you didn't know we got this and this and this, and you're just like, yo, how big is that fucking bag? Like, what the like,
Lou, Aazim, how did you guys feel about those drops?
Well, it kind of felt like, you know, the guy with the big ass trench coat, and he just opens it up. And he's like, what you need? What you need, man? I got
you. Ever since the Blade announcement, I feel like they've just been running it up. Like they've just been like, you don't know what's coming next, but you know that we are stacking the cards for when we start releasing content again. I personally was most excited about the What If trailer though. Like that wasn't super high on my list until that trailer dropped. That like the animation looked dope. Jafarey Wright as the Watcher like set the tone beautifully, and I'm hoping that carries over, you know, to movies down the line and whatnot. And I was blown away by that.
I think that one's going to be a sleeper series that everyone's not expecting, because if anyone's read the What If comics, they always hit you with some great stuff. Next thing, because again, we're very excited about Marvel, because Disney, again, they came out swinging. They're like, oh, HBO dropping Warner Brother movies up. Here we go. We got content for the next 10 years, and we're still announcing.
Yeah, honestly, the smartest two plays right now is between HBO dropping everything with Warner Brothers, and then like Disney and Marvel going, we'll drop stuff too. Those are the two business savvy, like drops. Like
no, it's a good play. But there's a lot of, so at least with Disney Plus, there isn't a lot of backlash or any with the creators, the directors. They've been on board with what Disney Plus is doing versus HBO Max doing this whole WB thing. You've got nothing but directors just coming out saying they're not here for it and they're against it. You know, you've got Christopher Nolan said something. The guy who's directing Dune pretty much said, because we're doing this, we're not going to get the second part. We're not going to do the rest of Dune, because I'm sure Dune is supposed to be like. I think Dune is like a love project. It's going to be a two-parter to do the entire book, and they need to make sure they're bringing in all this dough to justify doing another movie. So it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting.
I feel like Warner Brothers has the money, and by them dropping all this, they're going to get people more invested to get, because before we didn't have like the HBO Max like we have now, and now if they're dropping stuff, we're like, oh yeah, Disney, like you're gonna have people pay for your stuff. No, we're gonna drop them same day release, and you'll have to pay more.
But I want to ask Aazim and Lou these next drops, because now we're gonna jump over to the Star Wars. What Disney said. So Disney, 10 new Star Wars series coming to Disney Plus. A look at the Bad Batch. 2 spin-offs coming from the Mandalorian, which includes the Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka, Andor prequel of Rogue One, The Acolyte, Hayden Christensen coming back to the Obi-Wan TV series, the Lando series, Star Wars Visions, which is an anthology anime series, and movies including Rogue Squadron and an unnamed movie by Taika Waititi. Aazim, Lou, how did you guys feel about that?
Before they jump, we just need to make a shout out that Rogue Squadron is going to be directed by Patty fucking Jenkins. All right, now continue.
Continue. Aazim, Lou, whoever wants to take it first. How did you guys feel about that?
You go first.
I mean, I was about to say that I'm excited for Rogue Squadron. That's going to be a really dope movie. I'm excited mostly for like the new stories at the time. Like the spinoffs are dope, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to see like a completely new take on this. Like the anime things is going to be crazy. Like just like short stories that are just set in the Star Wars universe. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, similar. I'm excited for the new stories. I really liked Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, so I'm excited about that. And of course, she's a Lower East Side resident, you know, born and raised. That's kind of where I got my start. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I think, you know, having Christensen coming back as Vader, I'm excited for that as well, because for me, you know, I hated him in what was it?
Clone Wars.
Yeah, just makes you know.
The sand. The sand gets everywhere.
Yeah, so exactly the sand.
Yes, Daddy. It's gonna be amazing.
I'm excited for all that. Yeah, 100%.
But we got a lot to cover with this.
I think I'd like to comment on him coming back. Did you guys catch the quote from?
I agree, Shane.
I agree, Shane.
Yeah.
I just think, dipping and diving, trying to, fill in these gaps is really what's going to be a little bit hazy. And, to Aazim's point, just starting something brand new and fresh. They've got the new book series with the Republic that they're taking place with like a younger Yoda. I think that's a really good prime area to do shows, because that's a whole X amount of years where like we don't have anything, where we're like bobbing and weaving with shows and content, trying to make sure we've got those dots connecting.
So I'm gonna leave the link in the chat for everyone who's on the chat for follow up on that list, so you can actually go to the source, see some of the stuff that's dropped. So for everyone who's watching, you have that link now.
I think Ewan McGregor's quote where he was like, "I get to work with Hayden again, like I get to work with my brother again." I was like, "Oh, that's the sweetest thing." That was like, even if it was like a fake like tweet, I still needed to be real.
It's sweet, but it's just like that Ryan Reynolds gif. But why? like I don't know. It's not
really?
even because what's the who's gonna be in the suit? Is Hayden gonna be in that suit? No. Who's gonna be the voice of the suit? Is Hayden's gonna be voice? No, it's James Earl fucking Jones, Mufasa. Like, we're just gonna have Hayden Christensen show either in a flashback or some sort of Force connection shit that we saw in the sequel trilogy. Which it's cool. I mean, whatever. It's been years since he's been this character. It's different writing, different directing. Right. So I think they'll do him justice. It's just that there's that bad taste in the mouth from the prequel trilogy.
But it's safe to say, from everyone here, we're all excited for the next 10 years, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, this is phase 5, so I'm like,
yeah, we can't forget Boba Fett's getting in. Like you said, they had a lot they were announcing. But Tony, please now give us our spoiler warning. Let's go.
Yes, we are talking about episode 15 of The Mandalorian. We are talking, all spoilers are included, so that means Tony Stark has died. So let's get to it, boys.
Are you all ready? I'm gonna help you guys with this.
Fuck flex. Drop bombs.
So we're gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna walk you guys through talking points and everything from the episode that I'd help jot it down with everything, because there was some great stuff that happened in this episode, but I feel like there was a lot of great stuff that happened between Mando and Mayfield. And before we get deep into that, let's start off with the fact that first we start off with the prison planet with Mayfield, played by Bill Burr. Pretty much inmate 3, 4, 6, 6, 7.
Yo, he did an awesome job. I mean, even
it was amazing.
Like I was very impressed by, like, he had scenes that really stretched what he does, other than like the funny little slapstick stuff. Like I was thoroughly impressed. I was like, let's go MVP.
Absolutely.
Right
to get that level of buy-in from Bill Burr added so much like to the series as a whole. In my opinion, like this was one of my favorite episodes. Just seeing him like dig into that, and like the way it complemented the storyline so far was just dope.
Mm-hmm. There was definitely a lot of
the comedic timing for like some of the things where it wasn't like outright laugh out loud, but it was kind of like that. Yeah, that's funny.
Highly volatile, like
that or like, oh, you look like that other guy. I'm glad you didn't look like him.
But let's point out this fact. So we're on this junk planet, and if you notice, on this junk planet, it's a lot of Imperial stuff, and he's a former Imperial soldier. So how did that feel? You seeing this former Imperial soldier just like hammering away at old scrap metal and everything of old remnants of the Empire?
A lot of for me was like the tie-ins of like who he was, coming to grips with like decisions he's made, and then you see like conversations where like the entire time I was like, yo, kudos to the writing team, because the conversation between him and Mando where he starts to be like, yo, like we're not so different.
We're gonna get into those. We're gonna get into those.
But all that to say, like from that beginning where you see him like kind of going, damn, this is where I ended up, like it just ties in throughout the entire episode where you're seeing that level of like awareness that he has of who his character is and what like he's done, the impact that it's had.
Yeah, we're definitely this episode. You hit it right there, Daniel. We're gonna definitely talk about that too.
Yeah.
I have it all up here.
That soldier mentality. Yep.
And I think there's a good juxtaposition between him and Cara Dune, because with Cara, we get the whole idea of a person who was in the rebellion and kind of leaving all that behind and going off on her own. And then with this character, with Bill Burr's character, you've got someone who's part of the Empire and kind of also did his own and now is paying off his time. So I think it was a good balance between the two of them, and also just like this group of people that Mando just has around him from all different walks of Star Wars life.
Yeah. So I'll approach Aazim and Lou with this one. So we got what I dubbed the Mando Vengers when we saw Mando's crew coming out of the Slave One, especially that moment where he sees Boba Fett. Bill Burr sees Boba Fett.
Right.
And then you see Mando come out. He's like, "Oh shit, he's here!"
And Boba's got the new, he's looking fresh compared to the previous week.
We need that kind of cleaner. I don't know what he's using.
He rolled up with the fresh shape up, right?
Exactly.
Yo, we lined up. We're looking good. Everything, the lights are shining real good. But I thought it was hilarious that the fact that he was just like, "Oh, I thought you were the Mando." Oh. It was such a perfect reaction to I don't know, you see the class bully, and you were just like, the class bully sends you the secondhand man, you're like, yo, I got this, all right, cool. Then they send you the big bad boss, and you're like, yep, okay, this is gonna be different.
Who said that?
Yeah, exactly.
But funny. But let's just geek out for a little bit too, because after that whole thing happened, we actually, for the first time, I feel, got to see the inside of Slave One on the big screen.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about that going on the screen?
Dude.
The whole rotation, I was always obsessed with wait, why
it's like on a gyroscope.
Why are you sitting up and ready to sit? And then I saw the rotation happen. I was like, oh, that's how we're doing it, Boba Fett. It's like getting spree wells on the car. It was cool.
I don't think we saw a good amount of it from Attack of the Clones when it was with Jango. We just saw the cockpit and that was it. We didn't see the cargo bay or anything like that, and how it all works with people sitting on their back and it kind of rotating when it moves up. So it's cool. I mean, there's one of the this is later at the end of the episode, but one of the callbacks with Slave One that I loved was when the TIE fighters were going after Slave One and he drops the sonic bombs that were used in episode 2, and I was like, what? We're
gonna talk about that. That dogfight is on the docket. Yes. We're gonna talk about that because we want to get into that.
Yeah, exactly, Daniel.
There's so many moments of questioning morality and questioning where you draw that line for yourself, and Bill Burr he calls it out. He was like, what? He was like, so what changes? What's the thing that you're like, oh, I'll never do this until this. What is that thing? And it kept getting brought up, and I was just like, writing. I love the visuals, I love but the writing on this was easily the best episode.
Yeah.
Aazim, how did you feel about the Slave One though? I mean, because I know growing up seeing Star Wars, never seeing the inside of the ship, and then you're getting that. It's like, oh, okay.
I mean, this whole show, they just it's like they just have a list, a checklist of here are all the things that we know Star Wars fans have been waiting to see, and we're just gonna hit you with one of them after another. It's just, I mean, it's reassuring, right? That that the future of Star Wars is heading in the right direction, because clearly they're in tune with what it is that the fans have been waiting to see,
Right.
But at the same time, they're not doing it in a way that it's they're still subverting your expectations along the way, right? It's not it's predictable, but it's just oh shit, I never thought I would see that, but I got to see that.
Yeah.
I think this has been rewarding for all of us here as fans. And now we go to, because there's been a theme this season. We're as they're, like you said, they're opening up. We're seeing a lot of different planets. Morak is a jungle planet, but we also get the Mando and Mayfield team up, because now we can start diving into their conversation. And we also see Mando Trooper and hijacking of Juggernaut 5. How did you guys feel about all this that was going on right there and then?
I mean, it tells me, and I don't know if we're getting to the part where they're getting they're about to get hijacked or anything. But what it tells me is that the Empire does not train their stormtroopers well. you've got 4 juggernauts that are just taken out by these these dudes with thermal detonators, and Mando is one guy with no Beskar, just taking out the whole squad.
Oh no, you're jumping ahead. I'm talking about that's the second hijacking. We're talking about the first one when Mando and this guy took Mando Mayfield took over.
But even still, Tone is right. They're a bunch of red shirts.
No.
They're the definition of red shirts.
Yeah.
Well,
when they sent Kara down to take over, right? Because she was the one who jumped down. I thought it was going to be Mando to handle business, but they sent Kara down. She whooped ass, and then she got the dreamy eyes. She gave the dreamy eyes to Mando when it was time to hand over the armor. You saw her? She was like, "I got you." What are you doing? Don't be spitting out the love lines.
We need the fucking octagon, and she was good to go.
I just love the classic. The troopers always put out right before they get like right in the middle of the hijacking. Yeah. They never get to finish it though. You know, that's the operated Star Wars that's coming.
They've been really like doing that whole like stormtrooper ad lib of like their just generic voice. Like even in the last episode, when he's like, "Go up there, get up there," like that just seems like old school stormtrooper speech. It's like one dude who voices all stormtrooper commands.
Yeah, I eventually want to hear stormtrooper guy. Hey yo, what was that? What you said? What happened?
Like like you hear something drop, and you know the regular thing is, "The fuck was that?" Like,
you said one F-bomb for the entire series on that. The fuck was that?
And you get an elbow to the face, like with your helmet on. Like, come on, man! Like, what is this material made out of?
Plastic.
But with these it's different armor, but then Mando pretty much is in a different armor. He is a Mando trooper right now. But then it's like as him and Mayfield, we get this whole thing with him and Mayfield now in Juggernaut 5. They're driving through, and then they're having this one-on-one conversation. And I think this is where we can dive deep now into the character development, them talking to each other. And also, too, mentioning Alderaan and Mandalore, if that was possible, foreshadowing for something else that they were later in the episode.
I was going to say, you also see it, like, from earlier episodes. Had he not met, why do I always forget her name? Who took off her mask?
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. I always want to tell us something else. If he not had met her, I think he'd be less likely, like even more less likely to change into a different set of armor, let alone show his face.
Great.
And
point.
I think him meeting her and understanding like, oh, like this is the way, but it's the way that I've been taught. It may not be the way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think that gave him like better foresight to be like, and then just his connection with Grogu, like right. Yeah. Absolutely. Like his connection with Grogu and Grogu getting got, like he's like, I'm kind of willing to do anything. Yeah. And if like no one else can go, I gotta go, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
And it also eases into it. Like it's not like he goes directly from wearing his suit into wearing to taking it off entirely. It's like, oh, okay, this is like a middle ground. And then later on in the episode, obviously it tends like now you gotta go all the way with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spoiler. He felt so uncomfortable in that suit.
Yeah, he did.
Like he came out from behind the Juggernaut and it was just like
I love Bill Burr's reaction to it, putting on the suit. He was like, "Oh, this guy was clamming."
What's that clip that was go around? It's two dudes. It's like he's like, "What the fuck you wearing, dog?" He's like, "Come on, man, I'm just trying to." It's like, "Nah, you look goofy as hell, bro." Like,
That was funny. But I mean, I think we were starting to see the deep development though of Bill Burr's character Mayfield, and again, Bill Burr, kudos to him on how he played this character. We saw them have that moment in the Juggernaut. They're driving through the village looking at the kids, and then he gives that comparison of Alderaan and Mandalore. He's like, and then starts talking about like everyone's different beliefs and all that. And I was like, that was pretty interesting with that conversation.
Believe what you believe from where you came up from. You know what I mean? Circumstances of your environment. And I loved it more from seeing like how dirty he was when we first met him, where I was like, I fucking hate this dude. Like now I'm like, damn, don't make me like him. Like I like Bill Burr, but I don't like his. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
No,
I thought it was a great comparison to like what we're seeing now, you know, politically in the world, where it's just like everybody has to remember a bad guy always thinks he's a good guy, right? No matter which way. And, you know, great FBI agents talk about it is just like, you know, you're getting the bad guy. And it's just like, yes. And they think the same way, the vice versa. And I think that really, you know, resonates with what's going on in the world right now. And it was a great, that monologue and the whole like back and forth was like, I literally went back and rewound the whole entire thing. I took down notes to like really get where he's coming from. And if you know Bill Burr and what his comedy's like, you're like, oh, I get it, you know?
So I wouldn't be surprised if he helped write some of that stuff because he's such a brilliant writer.
Yeah. I mean, on that note too, he had the line right where he's like, when I say you guys, I'm talking about Mandalorians, which is another like, you know, kind of nod to current times, but played. I was like, of course Bill Burr's character would have that line.
Especially because his wife is a beautiful black woman that he's very proud of, you know, and he talks about that whole back and forth of what they have on, you know, him trying to understand what she goes through and, you know, him trying to be like, well, you know, they're just, you know, they need to figure it out. They don't understand that, you know? So it was great. It was great. I loved it. I loved it.
And I agree with Daniel's statement right here about Bo-Katan reminded Mando that they're still following the old ways of Death Watch. The new ways allow them to ways is freely and honorable. And I think they needed to show that interaction with Bo-Katan, which leads up to what's happening now. Yeah. And it just shows more character development. But now we can get into this chase sequence. We see that there's a blown up truck. We don't know which Juggernaut that was. Then we hear from Juggernaut 3 and 4. All of a sudden, Juggernaut 4 blows up, and then Juggernaut 3 is like, oh, and then they blow up because classic Stormtrooper, boom, boom, boom. And so, how did you guys see that?
Where they were like, we're about to fucking jump ship now. Like, fuck it, we're not like this ain't worth it. And like he was like, nah. Like Mando's like, yo, I got it. And Bill's just like. Oh, fuck you,
I mean, but like this whole thing, that whole sequence was pretty much like a regular one of those video game missions where like if you fuck up, you got to start back at the checkpoint. you've got like the fucking Crash Bandicoot Nitro in the back where if you bump something too hard, it blows up. You got the sensitivity bar going up and down, and you're trying to toy with that. You're trying to get to the next checkpoint, so if you fuck up, you can just restart again. There's so much happening that just reminded me of old
childhood memory. This is such a specific childhood memory.
Well, there are a couple of games that have done that to me, so like I get it. And I felt it.
I would have failed that episode.
How did you guys feel about that, Lou? Aazim? How did you guys feel about this scene?
Go, Aazim, you go.
I mean, I thought it was dope. I thought, you know, seeing Mando fight without his armor and I mean, kind of going hand to hand again was like a great reminder of just like what he's actually capable of. You know, he's. And it's funny you mentioned the video game because it's like, to me, this is the most video game show that I've seen in a while. Like, it's literally like he keeps leveling up armor and like, you know, meeting new people who then come back later for another, like, you know, going on a side quest, and then what he gets on the side quest matters for the main quest and all that. So, but it was dope seeing him just like bust it down, you know, instead of having to press a button or whatever as he has been doing, you know.
That's a good point with the you know earning different levels of Basta. But to see that armor like completely fold under bullshit weapons, I was just like, he misses it.
He took it.
You know, but he took it. Yeah,
doing the moves. He's like, that's not the vibe. This ain't fucking working.
When he ran out of ammo, he looked like, what? He was like, fuck this shit, fucking threw that.
Right.
But it showcased though how badass he is, though.
Really did.
But he was tight. He was like, motherfucker.
But the funny part was when they had the you know, he had taken out all those guys, and then it was just like 3 more showed up, and he was like,
have you got
for the kid?
Do you guys remember those raid games where you played the raid and then each wave got bigger and bigger and bigger? And that's what it felt like for Mando. But I got a question from Daniel right here. It says, do you think Sabine might show up for this season? I think they're gonna save her for next because we got one more episode. Because if they do, in my personal opinion, it's probably going to be a surprise, or they would have hinted to her, but I feel like she may show up in the next season.
Yeah, I think if they do the Thrawn thing, we're gonna get Ezra, and if they do the Ezra thing, I think we're gonna get Sabine. So I think it'll be more so like either season 3 or season 4. They're gonna kind of bring all those characters in.
And Mr. Elgato wants her. We know you want her.
Yes.
We've been screaming for her this whole season. We've been paying attention. And she says it too, or Ezra. And I believe they're leading up to Ezra, or Ezra might come into Ahsoka Katana spin-off show.
Yeah,
because
true. Now
again,
there's
if you
three
saw the
shows going
Disney
on.
drop, there's a lot of spin-off shows coming off of Mando.
Yeah.
And if I recall, they're supposedly going to do something where all the spin-off shows have like some sort of combination event, like what they did with CW.
And I agree. They might show General Admiral Thrawn and Daniel's boy. And again, look at that Disney drop. They might be saving him.
Yeah.
Thrawn seems more likely that they'll mention him, and then everyone kind of like their buttholes clench up.
Well, like Thrawn's not that, because you can just show, like, you can do what they did in Rogue One, except you're not using Moff Tarkin and doing terrible CGI, but you can just have him like looking out in his white suit with his blue skin, and like that's him. Right. Without having to see his face or anything like that.
I think they set him up as the main bad for the Ahsoka show. I totally agree with that. And again, we may get Ezra on that show, and Sabine may come in the spin-off show too. Who knows because they just announced a bunch of stuff. But aside from that, how did you guys feel when those TIE fighters, like this was a different scene that we see stormtroopers in the series, because we're always used to seeing them as the bad guys. This was more like a patriotic version of the stormtroopers. When the TIE fighters came in, the stormtroopers actually were hitting their targets, because the first time I've ever seen them hit targets. And then you had all the cheering, because it's like they actually got to win, and you kind of felt like, oh, okay, like you wanted to be. How did everyone feel about that? That was really, really great stuff right there.
That was dope, and it flipped too, because it's like you've seen that exact same scene with X-Wings, and you're like, this is dope. But obviously with the TIE fighters, it's like kind of weird. And then they immediately flip from that to the stormtroopers like gunning down the civilians, and you're like, oh yeah, never mind. These people are fucked up. Like we're not actually.
I think they humanized them too much. Like we're used to them being a little, rigid, and To be fair, like you say, like they humanize too much. We get further into the episode, and the entire cafeteria scene is them being human, like just them following orders. And it's entire writing of this entire episode is just us going, are they okay? Like, can we sympathize? Can we? Is it okay to like this?
I think I have a feeling why they did this, and I think it was more of, as you can feel for Bill Burr's character Mayfield, because again, he was just a soldier following the Republic, and we get more into that backstory. It's like that's all you saw, was that these were just people who were working. And yes, I agree with you. Yes, there's so much stuff is gonna happen. Yes, there's a lot of stuff we gotta wait for years. And I have a feeling Bo-Katan might. I think it's gonna. No, Daniel, I think they're going to lead up to the fight between Mando and Moff Gideon because of the spear. And they set that spear up because, again, if you saw, it was fighting off Ahsoka Tano. He's going to end up giving that dark saber to Bo-Katan.
But I think Moff Gideon is here to stay. He's not going out next week. And just to talk about the fact of like the Imperials and everything. Yeah, you got even like just thinking about it. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, definitely.
Stormtrooper. Yeah. Think about too is like how much good work is there. Right. So you got regular people just trying to provide for their families and everything. And also think on the flip side, like we see the Death Star blow up, but how many thousands and thousands and thousands of people who just signed up to be a mechanic were fucking obliterated. Right.
So
like we don't talk about it. We just cheer. Use the Force, Luke.
We
just cheer for it, Yeah.
Have you guys seen the robot chicken specials?
I think it really did that to make you think about it. I have. Go for Palpatine.
What you're saying, Tony, it just made me think about that, because like if you guys have seen the robot chicken specials, they kind of like talk about dude, you just blew up everybody's family. What was it? The guy who got his arm chopped off, and Mos Eisley and the Katan. What was it? And they were like, he was an architect, and they chopped off his drawing hand.
Yeah.
Like he's just a regular guy. Like come on, man.
It's so I think it's a good it just shows like regular folks are in the Empire. Obviously, like the officers, and as you move up the leadership chain, these people are fucking ruthless and should be shot. Like I get that, I get all of that, but like the regular dudes just cheering that their fucking truck came back okay is like how much are they really dealing with out there?
Right.
And without a union or something, you know?
What was going through you guys? Even
if they were you guys, it'd be terrible.
No, because the union would be controlled by the Empire. Just
right.
The union. With all the union fees going to like the Death Star or something.
Lou, how did you guys feel about this?
Oh man, that's gonna come out of my paycheck again.
Yeah. Good point. No, I mean, I think it comes down to like, you think about it with, if you were to put it in a certain sense of like, there are regular people who join the army and there's horrible things that the army does sometimes to other countries. And, you realize that you are part of the Empire and you're just a regular person, right? So it's just like at the end of the day, once again, the bad guys always think they're the good guys. It's a two-way street, But
I also think it's an interesting point that like that's at the lower level, but then the higher up officer we meet is fucking ruthless, like creepy ass, like giving like you making my screen call, So
I can tell you why. That actor was actually the Night King in Game of Thrones, so like
which we gotta give a credit to Richard.
Okay.
I've seen him in a bunch of stuff, but
all types of evil angled across his.
Oh my god, I was.
Wait. Daniel goes, ever wonder why the Empire didn't get clones instead of the rebellion? It would have been a lot easier for them to be sacrificed.
I could tell you why, because that shit's expensive. You know how expensive those dudes at Camino made it sound? Fuck out of here. Let's get the poor people and we'll pay them some shit with no benefits. Most capitalist thing I could say right now, but that's exactly what it is. It's expensive.
So we dropped that.
Legit.
So we dropped the hat that we see Mayfield recognizes his old commander, Valen Hess, who's played by Richard Breck, who you said played the Night King in Game of Thrones. And then we also get the scene of Mando removing his helmet because he needs to go over there so that Mayfield doesn't get recognized. And we got the nickname of Brown Eyes. How do we feel about that whole scene?
I just thought it was funny. He was trying to scan himself with the helmet on.
Yeah.
He tried.
It was like, we're worth it. I'll take it.
It was like the last attempt. The last attempt.
Yeah, exactly. No, I thought it was funny with the whole TK number, when Mayfield kind of jumped in, like, oh no, it's like, that kind of dynamic of like, oh, this is you make up a lie to go meet a girl and your cousin, no, like, no, he's like the MVP of everything. No, you don't know him like that. Let me show you. It's like
we speak for my mans real quick.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly.
And they're like,
he's a little shy, he's a little bashful, but he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I'm not in the Guinness Book of World Records. Where'd you come up with that?
How did you feel about this scene, Aazim, with everything going on?
Man, I love the Brown Eyes nickname, just like because I'm imagining it in his head, like he's seeing the face and he's like, oh shit, this dude has brown eyes, like and just like making that his nickname. And then the whole scene where like once they got caught in the lie reminded me of some like Inglourious Bastards type scene where you're just like sitting there and you're like, but you know that it's not going to end well, but you're just like, how long can they keep this lie going? So that was some great suspense that they built up with that.
And I give it.
Facts.
It's true, but it's all about profits, my man.
It's that union.
I give it to Pedro Pascal for playing up that that moment of like, damn, I really got to do this. Because you see it, like, even after he takes off his mask, it's not he's more scared to have them and to get caught. Like, he's not scared to get caught. He's struggling the entire time with the fact that, like, I'm about to show my face.
Yeah.
And that's not supposed to be a thing that happens. And he's not concerned about, like, oh, they're gonna catch me and I'm gonna, do whatever. It's and it's like, oh, like, nah, like they're gonna see my face. And even if we come out of this, I've now shown people my face. Like, what does that mean to me as a person?
And that's why it was dope to me when Mayfield jumped back in, right? Because Mayfield had just said, like, I can't go in there. And then he sees, Mando, like, going all the way to where he doesn't want to go. So he's like, all right, I got to go in there. Like, if he's going to be out on that limb, I got to be out on that limb with him,
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta go be with my boy. I gotta take care of this.
Unfortunately, he went like 5 steps further and was just like, I can't control my rage right now. Which was, I thought was such an awesome part where Mando's looking at him like, yo, bro, you really gonna do that? He's like, and Bill Burr was just very much like, this is what needs to happen.
But it gets into that.
You're not.
But I think, again, with humanizing the stormtroopers, I felt like it also lent a lot more to Bill Burr's character story, Mayfield's story, because we find out that it's like, to me, he had this PTSD, this anger, and we find out Operation Cinder, where 10,000 troopers died, and this guy doesn't give a shit. And this is, again, when we see that character development of Mayfield. Yeah. So, I mean, how do we all feel when that happened, when we start to see this? Like, oh, Mayfield has a bigger story, and it's like you felt bad for this guy. And again, I think all that led to this moment where we wanted to like Mayfield. I mean, how did you all feel about this right there?
To me, it was like basically earlier, like it was like Empire versus Rebellion, and now it just became like good versus evil, where he was just like, I'm sitting across from an evil dude right now, and this dude that needs to go. That's how I like kind of took that. He was like earlier, he was like, people see it from different sides depending. Yeah, he was like, man, fuck this guy. Like, this guy just took it too far,
Right. Yeah.
I like to send the reference from the games that Mayfield was a part of that squad. Yes, and they've been referencing a lot of stuff from the games, the Dark Troopers, again, and everything that's been going on. But yeah, no, I mean it. Again,
Mando is going to be the thing that ties everything together, and everything that spawns later on will be as a result of how well they're tying together this great universe.
Yeah.
But it was, again, that moment with his character. And just that scene that Bill Burr, you just have Pedro Pascal was just there just to be there for this scene, because this was mostly a scene between Bill Burr and Richard Brake, and they kind of really played well together in that scene. And Richard Brake always plays evil characters very, very well. And again, that humanizing of the stormtroopers led to everything for this. I mean, Lou, how did you feel about this scene?
Yeah, I mean, this is where I think Bill Burr shined in the entire in the episode. Was just like he had this like emotional state of being like, I'm doing my best to control this, but shit about to pop off. And it was literally like, and it was great because when he saw when he popped off and Mando's just like, oh, it's down. Oh, like I gotta go
right now.
Yeah, like right now. And then you saw Bill Burr pop off this way, and it was just like everybody was like, "All right, let's do this." I thought it was, once again, the acting that Bill Burr did in that moment, which I didn't think he had the capacity to do, he killed that. So I thought it was really good, and then the way kind of how they used the exit to the top of the roof. And did that whole scene of like, the suspense of off the edge, and there's only one way out, right? It's either this window. We're not running through 900 of these motherfuckers.
There's no way we all didn't fanboy when we got the 2 girl snipers, and we're like, yes, yes, let's go.
Pick them off, ladies. Pick them off, ladies.
Absolutely, Mando read him. He was not hiding his deck of cards, but like before we got to the whole pick him off, so we get the scene that Bill Burr, Mayfield respects Mando's like, listen, I didn't see a thing, there was nothing saw. Here you go, and that was really dope interaction.
Huge for Mando to kind of just like accept it, because I know a part of him was like, I might have to just off this guy, like what I mean.
Yeah.
You've seen too much.
You've seen my face. It's a real like conversation for him inside his head, and Mayfield was like, "Listen, like I think it took everything for Mayfield to be like, yo, like you let me get that out, we're good." Like, and by him saying like, none of the men in this room saw your face was his token of just like, I get it.
Yeah,
we're good now.
Yeah.
So I want to ask Lou and Aazim this question. Who do you think was the best sniper in this episode?
Don't do it. That's a setup. Don't do it. Setup. Setup
Who
question.
do you think was the best sniper in this episode between the two lovely ladies that were just
between? I was gonna say between the two ladies because Bill had a shot too. You know.
Well,
yes.
yes.
You know what sucks is that we didn't get Bill's third arm. That would have been dope if we got that, like from season 1.
Oh yeah.
But
I got my answer. So go ahead, guys.
You choose it?
No, I can't do it. Yeah. I didn't pay enough attention to grade the ladies on, so I'm not gonna fall into that.
I was saying, you know, hey, why we gotta compare the ladies? You know what I'm saying? They're on the same team, you know.
Right,
exactly. Mayfield.
We're gonna say shooters across the board. I take Mayfield.
Who you got, Tony?
Who you got?
Finnick.
What's up, Joe? Yeah, you got to definitely catch at the beginning. We go over the Marvel drop and going deep into this episode, brother. Make sure you guys check Joe Tolliver and Jarrell over at Comics Cast. Again, they have a great interview that went up this weekend on Sunday with Wayward Raven. Again, guys, go check it out. Still there, Comics Cast on Facebook. Joe, love you, man. All right, so
yeah,
let's get into
Finnick is the better shot. Finnick's the better shot.
Finnick, you gonna go with Finnick?
I mean, we're talking sniping.
Right.
Cara Dune is a heavy trooper.
Right.
So, I'm not going to put a light machine gun in Finnick's hands. You give that to Cara Dune.
Right.
And then you'd be like, who's the heavy artillerist? Not Cara Dune. But who's the better fucking sniper? It's fucking Finnick. The assassin, the whole, no. What we saw last week, her doing no scope, she's the better sniper.
That's true.
No, there's no discussion here.
Finnick was that player that you hate in Call of Duty that just no scopes you.
She
right
headshot the guys off the turret. Like, come on.
Yeah. All right.
You're not wrong, but I still don't want to choose. I love them both too much.
No, of course.
Yeah.
They're both awesome. I love that we're getting way more Finnick and we're getting more action sequences from Cara Dune.
Before he got the helmet back, I half expected him to come out and them to be ready to snipe and be like, "Who the hell is that guy?"
Imagine.
Yeah.
But now we could jump into this one-sided dogfight with the TIE Fighters and Slave One. What was everyone's reaction? We're expecting this. I'm expecting this whole big dogfight scene, and both is like one shot. Boom.
Nope. Call back.
He goes, oh, we got some company. Hang on. Yep. And in my head, I'm like, oh, it's about to go down. And he did that, and I was like, oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. I completely forgot that was a thing.
I had a feeling it was gonna happen because they showed the behind. I was like, is he gonna do the fucking mines? And it's one of those things like Boba was like, oh yeah, my dad, he had the fucking bombs when that asshole was following us all those years ago. This would work really well right now.
Yeah.
First time using it since then.
I don't remember his name.
I want to dust off these puppies and get them out the door.
Yeah, I was just very happy. It was the same sound, the delayed sound, the way they exploded. I was like, they literally just ripped it from episode 2. I was like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
These the two pilots that were flying those TIE Fighters were the same pilots that came in and saved Juggernaut 5. They were already feeling hot as shit and we're gonna go take out Slave One now.
Oh, hot as shit, shooting dudes with sticks and grenades. Oh man. About to get my wings today, boys. Let's do it. Come on, yo.
About to get my wings today.
About to get shit right.
Clips.
Facts.
Hey, Bob, have you seen this one before?
No. That kind of. I've heard from stories back in the day of a ship that looked something called Slave One. This can't be it. That guy got eaten by a Sarlacc pit. Anyway,
man, that was good though. I mean,
it was very one-sided.
Yes. For someone to make an animated kind of parody of that, of just that conversation that told us, I would give that to me 100%. I'm with it.
I'm done. This is my last one. So that meme of the old guy by his car. It's time to call an ambulance. Not for me. That's what that shit was.
That was so. Again, just to show Bill Burr's character, the interaction, the growth that we've seen. So they all meet by Slave One getting ready to leave, and Bill Burr's like, "Okay, Mayfield's like, you can take me now, whatever." But they're like, "Oh no, you died. Mayfield died." Like, how did you guys feel about this whole thing with the redemption and everything with the character that we have?
He earned more credit once he took that shot because it showed the entire team. They were like, "Oh, he's really like." Not fucking with anybody right now. He's like it's almost like that was he redeemed himself to Mando, but that was him redeeming himself to them.
Yeah.
So like, that gave Kara more of a reason for like not just like in the action the way he did, but that was definitely the cherry on top.
And Kara literally was like, "You're a good shot." So I was expecting her to be like, "You trying to link up with us? Like you always go for another gun."
I know. I was hoping for it.
But
I thought there was gonna be a little Avengers like you guys predicted. I forget it was it. I think you Sebastian you predicted
Mando,
that, right?
yeah,
Mando Avengers. But then it was funny because I kind of expected it in the sense of she kept giving him such a hard time, like from the beginning of the episode, like you can't be trusted, like nobody F's with you. And then when she saw him take that shot, she was like, all right. And then
she was gonna make him a deputy, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah." I thought she was gonna bring him in on some sort. And if I was Bill Burr, I mean, if I was Mayfield, I would have been like, "What are you guys doing? I mean, I'm not doing anything on Morak. Like, what do you guys got going on?"
I don't know if he's like, I don't really want to go to Moff Gideon's ship though. Like,
That's true. I didn't think about that.
But I have to say though, I was thinking too. I was like, I could see him coming back in another episode and then screwing him over again, just because he's like outdoing his own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they're gonna play with that expectation down the line again. Too.
I would think if Moff Gideon found out that he had anything to do with it, that he'll use him to get to Mando.
That's right.
That's a good thought.
Daniel brings up another one. Mando throwing the same exact reference, Moff Gideon from first season, word by word, as a burn to his face. Yep.
Yep. I didn't catch that till the third time I watched it. I literally did not. I was just like,
Lou, you put in the research now.
oh, you got to see my notes. I was crazy this time. No. I'm gonna get in the gym, guys.
I got a standing invitation every Tuesday at 9. We're watching this shit like 3 times.
Let's go. Private.
No, it was my son. My son like pulled that one over. I had a session with him, then I had a session by myself with the laptop, and then we just watched it again. So and I didn't catch that line, Daniel, to that point. I didn't catch it until that time. I was like, oh, we said that in the beginning. Oh my god. So yeah.
So I want to ask Aazim and Lou, if you were Moff Gideon, would you be the one to pick up that incoming collect call for Mando?
I would. I mean, I'm like, hey, thanks for the heads up. Now I can prepare for I didn't know you knew where I was. Okay, sweet. Like now I know what's on and popping. Let's go.
He wants the smoke.
I thought you were dead. We blew up your ship.
I kind of felt like, yes, you have to pick up that call, right? No matter what. But on the other side of things, I felt like Mando was like the dad being like, yo, you got my son in your house. I heard how you operate.
Oh, I literally wrote down taking speech. That's
Yo, as you said it right before I was going to. Yo, dead ass.
I have a certain skill.
No worries, Jarrell. No worries. You can always rewatch, brother, but we always welcome you. You missed a lot, bro. The Disney drop is going over this episode. Don't worry, it is there for you, bro. Make sure you guys check out Jarrell on Comics Cast. Him and Joe had that awesome interview again with Wayward Raven. It's up there. Check them out. Let it out every Sunday. Another shout out for you guys. I love you guys. You guys are kicking ass. But no, I mean, this was such a taken moment that if I agree, as this was such a taken moment that it was just like, I know where you are. I know where you live, and I'm going to find you. And I have a particular set of skills.
He does.
It's not wrong. But it's also
we've been calling it. Let's go, Beskar Spear. Yep.
Of both of their stances, because you figure Moff really thinks Like he's like, yo, I took him and I lived. What's good? Like I'm ready for round 2. And Mando is over here like, I will do. And he was like, you don't understand the lengths I'm about to go.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, so you're really about to see like clash of the Titans. And we're like, all right, let's go. Let's run it.
Let's run it.
Like I've said, it's just Giancarlo Esposito being Gus Fring in some other universe. Because Gus Fring was here for. He was like, he's here for all the smoke.
Yep.
He was here for, I mean, he didn't expect the grenade, but you know, he was still here for all the smoke.
Yeah.
He still showed up to Salamanca's fucking hospital bed. So, you know, like
somebody's got to go.
yeah.
Yes. Oh, wait, Jarrell got a question for you.
Talk to me. Yeah, man. Oh, man. So I've been during the whole quarantine. I haven't been really in a place to like nonstop, you know, be writing. I'm always writing, but you know, I've kind of taken a time to be with my family, really, and kind of take advantage of that. And you know, work has been insane, so I'm just taking it easy and just trying to like, you know, I'm doing more production now than I was writing. But yeah, man, I always got something on the cuff, man. Always got something on the cuff. I drop bars daily. My wife was just like, okay, can you stop dropping bars in the shower though? Because it takes a while. But I'm in the booth, bro. I'm in the booth.
And yes, Daniel, that looks like it was some foreshadowing for what Moff is going to get with that spear. So do you think that we're going to get the big fight in the next episode with Moff Gideon and Mando, since this is the season finale? This is the last episode for season 2. We'll start with Lou and Aazim. You guys pick who you want to go first.
Yeah, you got it. No, you got it.
All right. Well, I don't know. I'm caught. I feel like they're not going to give you too much Moff. I feel like they're gonna you know, pull that out a little bit, because there's just so much excitement into what he can do. And when remember, we only got like a small touch of him in the last finale. You know, you got to see the Darksaber, and it was just like, so I think it's going to be a similar sort of thing where, you know, he gets close to it. Maybe, you know, him and Grogu reconnect for a quick glimpse, and you see like the magic in their eyes, and it's just like, okay, shut it down, on to the next one. So that's my take on it right now. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I'm similar. I feel like they're gonna fight, but I don't think it's gonna be a place where there's like a clear victor. Like it's like they're gonna fight, and then some shit's gonna happen that interrupts them, and you're like, okay, that was a nice taste, but like there's still more to come. And personally, I mean, what I'm kind of expecting next episode is Grogu to do some like evil shit, like basically like some like, oh yeah, maybe you shouldn't get trained type shit. That's how I'm expecting it to go down. Like they're gonna kind of be neutral, and then Grogu's just gonna fuck some shit up.
Do you guys think that he's getting Grogu back next episode? Is the better question.
That's
yo, Aazim, yo, your face was like, I don't know about that, Chief.
Yeah, I think it's Bo-Katan versus Moff Gideon. Okay, you think she'll come back? Okay,
it's funny. If you guys noticed, this was a Grogu-less episode. There was no Grogu scenes whatsoever.
The first one too.
Pedro got mad jealous.
When Pedro didn't show his face,
he was like, I want one episode without this mother.
He wants to show his face, otherwise they gotta figure something out.
I'll be in the game, coach.
About to be called a Mandalorian instead of the Mandalorian.
No, but I definitely think that there's a possibility that we do see him, but I think, you know, it would be a cool thing to see him train to be bad and eventually somehow win himself back over into good. You know, I think that you could really pull that storyline out of figuring that whole piece out. Maybe, you know, he starts to do side missions with Moff Gideon in the next you know, series, or, you know, like there's a lot of things that could be done with that. So yeah, I think if you're smart, you kind of drag that piece out. But there should be a nice fight scene between Mando and you know, finding the ship and all that. I think it's gonna.
Have we had a proper in space fight yet?
No, I think
no,
they're probably
Everything has been on world, right?
Everything's been on. Yeah, I mean, I think that's. And I mean, we don't really get them that often, that much, which is kind of why like there's a lot of hype for Rogue Squadron in general. It's like it's just going to be really dope with the space fights, but I'm not sure how it's going to end. I don't think he's going to get Grogu back. I think I mentioned a while ago too. I just think it's the story you can't keep up with the story if it's just this constant trying to get Grogu thing of Moff Gideon trying to just keep getting him and his plans keep getting foiled over and over again. I think Moff Gideon's going to be taken down a notch. That could potentially be how we see Grand Admiral Thrawn, because he now needs to go up to his superior because he's not running the whole fucking thing. Yeah. He acts like he is, but he's not. And then we potentially
there's always levels.
There's always levels. Exactly. He's not wearing the white suit. He's not really running it then.
So before we get into the plugins, because we're at that hour, first I want to get the last comments that I have here. So we have Erles, he's been calling that Ezra is going to show up to answer Grogu's call. I believe he is, or he may show up on the Ahsoka Katana show.
She doesn't want to wait that long. She wants sweet.
Yeah, she wants him now. She's been saying it all. She wants him now. I feel you, girl. He's coming.
All season. Ezra needs to show up in person.
There we go. Jarrell said it's going to be a cliffhanger. Moff kills Boba, and we'll have Mando on the ropes, only to have Ezra show up with Thrawn.
Okay.
Ooh.
I've been loving all the Boba right now, so I hope that's not true.
Daniel goes, I have a feeling Mando is not going to get Grogu back in the next episodes. He's going to get kidnapped again, and it could be Thrawn who does it. Who we don't know. And then finally, did you all see the? Yep, we covered the Star Wars update and everything. B-wings, TIE fight. Bro, we are excited about this drop.
We need a whole Tuesday episode about the drop.
Yeah, we got time for it. Once Mando drops and we come back from break.
Yeah, we're pretty much got like Wonder Woman, because I know we're definitely be talking about that, and then we're pretty much going to be figuring out other things to talk about. So the drop could be definitely something. Phase 5.
We'll talk more, because Jarrell's going to be on next week's episode on Tuesday.
Okay.
Wants to bring that Star Wars knowledge here.
Yes, please.
We want it, brother. So, guys, it's that hour. So what we're going to do is this. I want everyone to plug their stuff. So, Aazim, you're the rookie here. Got you on the episode. Hope you have fun, brother. But please, plug away. Where can we find you? Tell us about your podcast. Let everyone know, brother.
For sure. All right. So what's up, y'all? I'm Aazim. If you guys want to hear some really dope, sort of genuine human-to-human conversations about personal development, life, what it means to be navigating this crazy-ass world, check out our podcast, You Free. We're at youfree.earth. Yeah. Check in, tune in, hop on an episode if y'all want. I mean, all of y'all are obviously welcome. Now that I've been on your show, you got to come on mine. So let's go.
Always down for it.
Always down, brother.
Is it YOU free or?
Yeah. Like, are you free? Our Instagram too. Call us when you free.
Okay, perfect. All right, perfect.
Lots of love to you too, Jarrell. Merry Christmas, brother. And we can't wait to have you on, brother. And again, everyone, check him out on Comics Cast. Lou, do the plugs. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, it's good. So Lou Seif NY is my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook account, and tag name. Go check out the agenda. I also have the Survival out. Definitely some dope grown hip hop. It's really about, just men handling their lives and obviously trying to navigate through the world, similar to Aazim. It's not no shoot 'em up drug dealer bullshit. It's very jazzy, good earth tone type of music. So please check us out, and more coming.
Bro, and if you guys have not checked out the album, please check out the album, The Agenda. It is a dope ass album.
It's
definitely
a vibe.
Check it out. It's a
vibe.
Now,
thank you.
So before we close the schedule for the week, so I want to give a shout out to 3 Twitch channels. We have TAOS by Law. Check him out on Twitch. He has a schedule up there. Check out Q Mayhem Gaming, and also check out Steady Hands. Check these guys out. They're covering their games. They're doing their stuff. If you want more content, go there. Give them a like, follow, subscribe.
On my Twitch live the other day, but we have a plan to have a group collab Twitch stream coming soon. So that'll be happening very, very, very soon.
Also, too, guys, Don't forget, this Friday, new episode is going to be up. If you're into or want to learn a little bit about character creation, we talked to Jay Hewer and Keiko. Jay Hewer's writer, wrote some dope comics. We're going to tell you guys about them. We're also going to tell you about Kiko's MLA Entertainment. She's a voice actress who's put out the show Project Infinity. Again, they go over some great stuff with character development and all that, and like creating characters. So if anyone wants to learn about creating characters or get some tips from people, this is going to be a dope episode that is going to drop on Friday. Check it out on our YouTube channel. The Medusa's Cascade podcast every Saturday. Check out the Medusa's Cascade.
If you guys love D&D and roleplay, like it's definitely going to be the podcast for you.
And it's bonkers because there's an asshole that's named Kyver in that episode. I don't know. He's a real asshole. Finally, on Sundays, if you have not, well, you know what? Sundays, go to the Comic Cast. Actually, go to Comic Cast's Facebook group now. Follow them, subscribe to them. Comic Cast, they did a great episode this past Sunday. The Sunday before, they had Buddy Scalera on. This past Sunday, they had Wayward Raven. Again, Let It Out. They draw. They talk about creative process as well and comics and everything. Go check them out. Again, guys, this has been another awesome episode of Nerds Around. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm your host, Sebastian.
Boy Law.
And your boy Tone from across the hall.
Stay nerdy. Peace.
Thank you guys for coming on.